All right, everybody. I'm going to give it about another minute for everybody to join that's going to be attending today. Thank you all who have joined. I appreciate your time this morning. I know we all have very busy schedules, especially with the weather coming in today. We're trying to make preparations for our branches and staff. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your morning. It is 11:03, Friday, March 14th, 2025. This is our first quarter Pine Bird chapter lunch and learn. I've really enjoyed preparing and getting these together. I think it's a new opportunity for the Pine Bird to kind of come together and see what is available in our communities. So we have more of an outreach to our members and also serving the underserved. Guest speaker today, we do have Miss Selena. Miss Selena is with the Mississippi Council on Economic Education. We had an opportunity to meet Miss Selena this year at their annual meeting. That was in 2024, my apologies. And since then, we've been able to partner on several different things on financial literacy for the youth. And one opportunity was in Vicksburg. And then we have potential opportunities to actually host those evening community events where families come in and actually go through a class. Miss Selena, thank you for taking time out of your morning. I know you're on spring break this week, so taking time on Friday and spring break, thank you. I surely appreciate it. Just a little bit about who we are, Miss Selena, the Pine Bird chapter. We are part of the Mississippi League. So we just get together. It's an opportunity for credit unions and our board members to kind of stay tuned on what everybody's doing and have an opportunity to network. We have in the past done annual in-person meetings. We normally do a lunch. We got out of that for a brief time, but this year we're picking that back up. So look forward to being able to invite you to those in the future. I don't see anybody else requesting to join. We're going to say that they're busy and go ahead and get started. So Miss Lena, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, I'll stop sharing my screen so you can share yours.
Great. Well, thank you so much, AJ, for inviting me to be here today with you. One of my favorite things in life is networking. And so that is how this came to be today, because as AJ mentioned, he attended our Forum on American Enterprise, which was in October. And if I'm not mistaken, you were a guest of Mississippi Public Broadcasting, and they had a table. And then so we met there. And afterwards, or maybe even before, Royal made sure that we met each other. And yeah, it's just been the beginning of a great friendship. So that's amazing. And even though it is spring break, I am delighted to be here. My organization serves teachers across the state. So it just kind of makes sense that since a lot of them are out of the classroom this week, that we take the week to kind of reset as well. So that's why the MCEE office is closed this week. Having said that, with the change in year-long structure at schools, I don't know if any of you work with schools that have gone to the year-long calendar where they take 2 weeks here and 2 weeks there. It's really hard for us now to say that all schools are on spring break at the same time. Okay, let me tell you about MCE, who we are. And after I give you a brief introduction, I will share my screen and could talk without it, but I know people like visuals. And so what I'm going to do is kind of use our annual report as a visual for all of you. But the Mississippi Council on Economic Education was created back in 2002 as one of many state councils for economic education that exist around the country. We're all at different ages. I mean, some of them are 65, 70 years old. We're probably one of the newer councils at 23 years, but we are part of a network around the country that initially started out with a mission to increase economic knowledge, like economic education knowledge. And then over time, I'd say I've been with the council for 15 years this August. About 15 years ago, when financial literacy was recognized as a subset of economics, we picked that up as part of our mission. And then we also have entrepreneurship. So the mission of the Mississippi Council on Econ Ed is to increase economic, personal finance, and entrepreneurship literacy of our K through 12 students. And we do that by serving teachers. So we provide professional development all over the state for teachers at different levels. So we have really in-depth master teacher programs, which are like a college semester course, all the way down to pushing out 1 hour webinars. And then we also provide the curriculum for teachers to use in the classroom. We partner with the Mississippi Department of Education. We are viewed by MDE as the expert in the state to provide this professional development to teachers, and also know that the curriculum that we provide has been tested for efficiency and accuracy, and that it's really good material. So that's the mission. And then let me tell you that we provide teacher PD, and then we also provide student programs. And I think I'll just really quickly, since AJ has already talked a little bit about the initial program that we worked together on, that was Family Financial Fun Night. So they're a little bit outside of our mission because they don't work with teachers. They work with parents and children. But if a funder comes to me and says, we would like to do these Family Financial Fun Nights, the answer is always yes. So those events started out being a program of Wells Fargo. They worked with the National Council for Econ Ed and created the framework for those. And then when their funding ran out, my State Farm funder said, we would like to do some of those in Mississippi. So I'm currently funded to do 2 more this calendar year by State Farm. And those will happen. One will be in Jackson and one will be in Biloxi. But any of you that hear about that program and you want to get in on that, we would be happy to work with you on that. It's not extremely expensive. They're $2,500 to put on, and that includes the MCEE facilitator, as well as dinner for the attendees and all of the content that's used. So let's just get that out of the way since AJ has mentioned those. All right, I'm going to now share my screen. Okay, and what you are seeing is just the MCEE website. You can see it in let's see, there it is, in my backdrop, mscee.org, if you want to go check that out at a later date. I'm super proud of our website. It's fairly new, like about a year old, and I think it really has everything on it that you could want to know about us. But for today, I'm going to go to the media section where we try to keep everybody current on what's happening. And I'll go down here and we'll view the annual report. This is 23-24. So it's not the current year that we're in, but all of the programs that we operate are reflected in this document. Okay, so I do have a board of directors that consists of about 40 individuals, business and education leaders from around the state. 40 to 45, that's a lot, but it works for us. And I'm always looking for fresh blood on that, because people get tired, they want to move on and do something else. And so if any of you ever want to get involved at a deeper level on the board of directors, I would love to have that conversation with you. So this is April. As you all probably know, is Financial Literacy Month. It's coming up very soon. And we always work with the governor to sign a proclamation that in the state of Mississippi, April is Financial Literacy Month. So I expect we'll be doing that again. And then we just have a photo op with him signing that proclamation each year. We do try to make April special with extra events. We always have our financial literacy challenge in April, which I'll talk about in a minute. But anyway, we do recognize April as Financial Literacy Month, and October is Economic Education Month nationally. So once again, we work with the governor. He signs a proclamation. October is when our Forum on American Enterprise occurs. So that's part of our celebration of October. So we'll talk first, and I am happy to take any questions at any time. I told AJ, I was like, I can talk for hours about this stuff. I won't. Today I have 30 minutes, but I'm happy to take any questions at any time about what's going on. All right, so we're going to start with what we do with the teachers. And we have you'll see here on the screen 5 master teacher programs. Mississippi was the first state in the nation to create a master teacher program. Since then, other states have copied what we've done, and you know what they say about that. What is the saying? Imitation is the best form of flattery, something to that. So we've helped a lot of states over the years get started with their own master teacher programs. But these are a really deep dive. So these are 75 content hours. Just won an award last week at the National Association of Economic Educators Conference for the fact that we are able to offer all of these using technology, which reduces barriers to participation. They used to be all in person. You know, a person would have to physically be in a location for 40 plus hours. And that's just difficult for a lot of folk. And so we've gone now to a delivery mechanism that includes technology, primarily Canvas. And we're able to reach these teachers, and we pre and we post test them. So we're able to prove that their knowledge has increased over time. These are taught by either a college level faculty member. So the master teacher of economics is taught by a PhD economist. The entrepreneurship is taught by a master. I think he has a master in economic development, but he's also at a university. And then we work with the Federal Reserve banks of Atlanta and St. Louis to offer the personal finance course. And then I have the career readiness. The reason we do career readiness is because in the state of Mississippi, I want you to hear this, and I'm going to, in the state of Mississippi, students are required to take both a semester of economics and a semester of personal finance to graduate from high school. That's a big deal. Not all states have those requirements. But in Mississippi, that personal finance requirement is taught inside of the college and career readiness course. So if you ever hear somebody, and I hear this commonly, you know, oh my gosh, why aren't we teaching this stuff in schools? It should be required. It should be more required than, you know, advanced math. It is required in Mississippi, and we should be super proud of that. It is required because the Mississippi Department of Education says so. There are a lot of states that it takes legislative mandates to make this happen. That's not the way it happened in Mississippi. Our Department of Ed said it shall be. So, yay, Mississippi. We were like the 7th state in the nation to require a semester of personal finance. So this is a big deal. All right, so we've got these programs. Teachers all over the state enroll and complete these programs. As you can imagine, the ones that we really want in the Master Teacher of Economics are our econ teachers, our U.S. history teachers, because there's a strand of economics there, business, personal finance, career tech teachers like that. So there are not just anybody, like we would not accept a music teacher or a PE teacher or somebody like that into these programs because there's a cost to us. We don't charge the teachers or the schools, but MCEE has a cost that we incur. And each of these programs cost us anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 per participant. We do pay out a completion stipend to the teacher when they finish. That's kind of a recognition that they have an opportunity cost to give us their time. So, and they get continuing education units, and some of these they are allowed to add an endorsement onto their teaching license through our relationship with the Department of Education. This is super small, but I think that later, if you wanted to go check it out, this is just FY24. So if you serve an area and you're like, I wonder if there are any master teachers in that county. This is just from the last fiscal year. On our website, I think we have to date, so since the beginning of time up till now, one caveat there is, just because somebody was trained 10 years ago in Vicksburg and they appear on that life to date map doesn't mean they're still teaching in Vicksburg. So you just need to be aware of that. But if you're ever curious about a particular school, all you got to do is reach out to me. We maintain those records and we can tell you who the master teachers are. I think we did that for AJ on some schools, to let him know in the schools that he focuses on what's going on in those. Okay. So, and then we do 1-day workshops all over the state. What you see here is just a sampling of what these might look like. They usually are driven by funding. So if a funder comes up and says, I want to do an economics, let's say economics in the Mississippi music industry. Well, we had funding from the Mississippi Arts Commission and then also the Community Foundation of Northwest Mississippi to do some of this work up in the Delta. So funding comes in for a particular topic and we make it happen. All right, so let's go. These next pages are about student programs. We've been talking about what we do for teachers. Now, what do we do for students? Danny Dollar is a program that's based off of a book that was written for the purpose of, it's just like a children's book for 3rd through 6th grade students that talks about Danny and how he is an entrepreneur and how he saves money and invests money and things of that nature. We had funding where we were able to have this mascot. You can see Danny in these pictures. We own that Danny Dollar mascot and can take him places. He can make presentations. The goal here is, the long-term goal is to get a book in every child's hand. We started this program because Atmos Energy said, we've got some money for reading literacy, but it would be really great if those books could also talk about personal finance. And so that's how this came together. And we currently have funding to do Danny Dollar from Amazon Web Services, as well as State Farm, and then there's an organization on the coast that has provided some funding. So if you had a school you wanted to do Danny Dollar in, I can let you know what the cost would be for that, to get every student a book and to get the teachers trained. The economics challenge and the personal finance challenge. All right, so these are 2 similar competitions that are coming up in April. I will make sure that AJ has the link to sign up to volunteer for these events. I think these would be a really great way for any of you that are wanting to see something in action to sign up to be with us for one of these days. Econ Challenge is April 8th. And Personal Finance Challenge is April 10th. They will both be at Mississippi Public Broadcasting. And at the end of each competition, they actually film our quiz bowl rounds and then edit them, and they are TV pieces. Last year they ran in August. And if you were to go to our website, this is a lot, and go to this document, this annual report, this is a live link where you can click watch now and it will take you to the Mississippi Public Broadcasting piece. Um, Children, students get to the state competition by competing in 3 qualifying rounds, and we bring the top teams from 6 regions to the state challenge. There are different categories at each of the challenges. I won't go into that. You probably don't care about that much detail, but the students do come to Jackson and they compete for college scholarships. I am in need of financial sponsors for both of these programs. So if that's something that's in your wheelhouse and you wanted to be part of that, let me know and I can provide you with more information. These are just some pictures at the end of the challenge this particular year, showing you who the top teams were. Econ Challenge is just high school. But when you go to see this shot right here is from the Quiz Bowl. These are from the TV show. But Personal Finance Challenge is for high school and middle school. And we have divisions in both competitions for schools that we would consider underserved. You know, maybe they haven't competed in the past. We call them access zone. It's an access zone division. It allows schools that haven't been doing this for very long or not at all to come in and compete against other schools that haven't been doing this or for not long at all and build their confidence and their knowledge level. And then the goal is ultimately for them to compete just in the general competition. And then we have the stock market game. So this is how a lot of teachers initially become familiar with us. The stock market game is for 4th through 12th grade students. The teachers are provided with professional development so they know how to teach the content. And it teaches students about the importance of investing. It's basic personal finance, but also we want them to understand how when they have money, they can make their money work for them, and how over a lifetime, the earlier they begin to invest, the better. We are teaching them the mechanics of the stock market. All of you, I think, would agree with me that as an adult, your best option is a mutual fund because it diversifies your risk. So it's not saying, okay, kids, y'all need to be day traders. You need to invest in individual stocks, but it helps them understand how the market works. It's kind of like learning the steps in a math equation. You know, even though you could probably plug something into a computer and it would tell you the answer, it's important to understand where that answer comes from. Each year, we bring the top teams from the stock market game to an awards ceremony. Top 3 teams in each division, elementary, middle, high school, and there are 2 trading sessions, so fall and spring. We're currently in the spring session. There are opportunities for you as a professional in the banking / credit union / investing business to go into these classrooms and talk to students. We have a mechanism in place called Invest It Forward. So if you ever wanted us to help you get into a classroom to go in, and we provide the lesson plans and everything. So you just have to go give of your time and your expertise. Here you can see on the screen, this is FY24, the counties and the number of schools in each county that actively played the stock market. It's good. Like the number was double in this year, double from what it had been the year before. But as you can see, there's still lots of holes. There are lots of places that students are not getting exposed to this. We don't charge teams fees. We pay those fees on their behalf to the SIFMA Foundation. So we try to remove any barrier that might exist for a teacher to implement this in their classrooms. And the next couple of pages are just the winners from last year. You could take a look at that on your own time. And then last is Family Financial Fun Night. So I'll give you a little bit deeper dive on that. These can happen for either elementary or middle and high school students. The curriculum is different for those age categories. The one that AJ was part of was a high school event. There are stations that are preset, the activities are preset, and basically we have adult volunteers come in to facilitate each of those tables, and there are each tables on income generation and saving and investing and risk management, which would be insurance and things of that nature. And so MCEE provides the structure. We have a facilitator that comes in and runs the show, but it's very volunteer reliant. So I like to have 2 volunteers at least for each table. The numbers that sign up to attend vary. I think the one in Vicksburg had about 18 families that attended. When we do the one in Jackson, because we're partnering with one of the sorority alumni organizations, we're expecting the numbers to be larger. But anyway, so that's how that works. And then our Forum on American Enterprise that will happen in October. We don't have a date that we don't have our keynote speaker. This last year, our keynote speaker was Raphael Bostic, the president and CEO of the Atlanta Federal Reserve Bank. But we do try to, we always have students on the program that can come on and talk about their experiences during the year with programming that MCEE has promoted. So yeah, just some of their highlight pictures, contributors. You can go back and look at that. Our financials, partner organizations. These are groups that, when I say partner organizations, that help us present or put on teacher professional development, or organizations that provide the curriculum that we promote. All of the curriculum that we push out is age appropriate. So we're not trying to teach elementary school students based on curriculum that was written for high school teachers. And then there's the board of directors. So I think I'm a little less than 30 minutes right now. I'm ready, but it's good, right, AJ? Yeah? Are we good?
Certainly. Yes, yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you so
So
much.
I would love to answer any questions that you have at this time. And I'll stop sharing my screen.
Yes, ma'am. And my apologies. I was having a little bit of technical difficulties there with my camera and stuff, so I had to jump off camera-wise for a moment. The connection that you have directly to the teachers and the students in the schools, do y'all coordinate directly with the school themselves and then communicate how the delivery of the material and the training comes for the presentation to the students?
Yeah, so we promote our programs. We have a weekly email, and I would encourage you to sign up for that. It's called What's Up Wednesday. We always promote through that channel things that we're doing and give all of the information that someone would need to engage. And those go to people, like we've got about 12,000 people that are in that system, but there's over 30,000 teachers in the state, so we, through that mechanism, we don't reach every single teacher that's out there. If we push out a program and we don't get the engagement that we want, then I will send direct emails to principals around the state, encouraging them to share the information with their teachers. But I think we do a pretty good job of marketing through either our weekly e-newsletter, the Department of Education will send out information on our behalf, Mississippi professional educators. We've got these partners that will push out information for us, but we are always happy to have extra help in that area. If you're working in a school and you have contacts and maybe you see, like you ask me for some information and you see that we don't have teachers actively engaging in our programs, maybe you can help make sure that they at least know about us and what we're doing. They say that, word of mouth is many times the best form of promotion of opportunities. So, yeah, that's how we go about letting people know what we're doing.
Yes, ma'am. I know a lot of times, I know Bailey and I work closely. She's on the call. I know we work closely with our schools and getting our teachers to be engaged and respond or even being aware is sometimes challenging. So, word of mouth is the best way that we've been able to get our in school branch awareness and what programs we're offering to the teachers. Do you find,
Oh,
yes,
I'm
ma'am?
sorry.
No,
I
you're
was just
fine.
going to
Go ahead,
say,
Miss Selena.
not only do we not charge teachers or schools to be engaged in what we're doing, but as I mentioned, on a lot of the programs, we provide financial incentives because we know that, I mean, we're an economics organization, for crying out loud. People respond predictably to incentives. That's a basic economic standard. And we also know that teachers, their days are super full, right? They have all these things that they have to do. And so if you can incentivize someone to do what you want them to do through a little financial incentive, then my board of directors has directed me to do that. So, for example, for the first time ever, we are incentivizing teachers that do the economics and personal finance challenge $10 per team that they have engaged. We're doing that with the stock market game as well. It's working. It gets their attention, because a lot of things we ask them to do or that they're told to do, they just have to do it and don't have a say. And at least this gives them a choice, and one that they'll be, incentivized positively to do.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, if you throw money, they like that. What is the mascot? Danny the mascot. I didn't forgot the exact name. My apologies.
$dollar.
Danny the Dollar.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Danny Dollar.
Danny Dollar. Danny Dollar. What's the typical cost for him to come into a school? And what's the engagement from the students? I know that's probably more targeted through your K through eighth grade potentially. And what's the engagements from the students themselves? Do they enjoy it? Do they want them to come back? Do they want to learn more about personal finances?
Right. Okay, so I'm sharing Danny again, just so you can see this. Historically, and there have been a lots of different programs that Danny has been used for. Initially, we received funding to provide the books to students and to train the teachers, any elementary, like third through fifth grade. And then we got funding from the Mississippi Council on Developmental Disabilities to work primarily with students with special needs. And so the pictures that you actually see here are some of the classrooms that we served with Danny Dollar that met that description. So Danny the mascot is pretty new. He has gone on several school visits, like you can see here. This was at the end of the school year, so the students had already been reading about Danny and doing the exercises, the curriculum, doing the lessons. And then we brought Danny in at the end. The kids love him. I mean, I think he's super awesome. Just think about going to Disney World or somewhere like that. You have these life-size mascots walking around. It just brings it to life. Um, so what I am trying to do at this time is get engagement. So we had a funding that was specifically for Jackson, the Jackson area. And we just trained, like the week before spring break, we just trained educators in the Boys and Girls Club, as well as Operation Shoestring and some other after school programs to actually teach Danny Dollar in after school settings. And so they all have gotten their books now. They're getting ready I'm sure as soon as this week, well, they probably were still in over spring break. I don't know how after school programs, or they might have had the kids all day long. But my ultimate goal is to have an entrepreneurship fair at the end of the program where the kids can come. It's like a science fair where they pitch their own businesses. They have a trifold board, and there are certain things that are expected to be on that board. And then adult volunteers will just walk around and talk to the students about their ideas, and Danny would be there. In addition to bringing the book's author, who is Ty Allen Jackson, he is an amazing speaker. He's not in any of these pictures that you can see right now, but he did actually go on these classroom visits with Danny Dollar to meet with the students. He is, you can check him out, Ty Allen Jackson. He's got a website. He's a motivational youth speaker, and he has a movement called Read or Else, which I love. You know, like basically we need to, our kids need to learn to read or it won't be a good thing for them. But yeah, read or else. Um, and so the cost for all of this is just driven by the pieces and parts. So if an area needs a teacher training, you know, I'd have to put together a budget because I have to hire the trainer. Like that person is not just on my staff full time. I hire them as needed. So you bring in the trainer to train the teacher, and then you purchase the books, which are about $10 a piece. You purchase those for the students. And then if you wanted to do an entrepreneurship fair, there would be a cost for that. If you wanted to bring Ty Allen Jackson into town, he's based in California, there's a cost for that. So you just kind of have to let me know what your interest level is, and we could throw together a budget really quickly. I will. MCE is not in this to make money. Like we're just covering our costs. But we're a nonprofit. And so you tell me what you want to do, and we figure out how much it will cost to do, and then we do it. Um, it's pretty simple.
Yes, ma'am. I know. Very interesting. Just another opportunity to get the kids more engaged, and they'll remember it, and it'll leave a lasting impression.
Right. Mhm.
Well, that's all the questions I have for Miss Selena. Does anybody else have any questions for Miss Selena?
We're here to serve. You know, we have a mission, and we work real hard to meet it every day. And we would love to work with some of you to achieve this mission. We have not historically worked with credit unions. Other state councils for Econ Ed have really nice relationships with their credit unions. So until I met AJ, you know, he was my entrance into this world, which I'm truly appreciative of. And y'all just let me know if you want to engage.
Well, Miss Selena, it's been a pleasure, meeting you and building this relationship. I wanted to have Miss Selena come on today just to share all the resources that we have available to us as we go into schools, or we have a mission within our community to provide more literacy options for families, the students directly, teachers directly. So it's just a great opportunity to have additional resources in your back pocket. If nobody has any questions for Miss Selena, I'm just going to give us just a couple updates on the Pine Burr chapter for everybody. In May, we were going to do a dinner for the Mississippi Credit Union Association. Peggy and Amy and I have been working on getting that fine-tuned and getting the date specific. I mean, not dates, the times being more specific. So we have decided to go ahead and stick with this the social event like we did last year. Due to timing and other credit union reservations, we just feel like it's more ideal considering everybody's schedule, and most credit unions want to go to dinner with their board and their employees Thursday night. So with that being said, I've been working on several different opportunities to secure the funding needed. So we will do the social hour in May, And then in September, we will do an in-person meeting in Hattiesburg or Columbia, Mississippi. I'm working on the venue now. So I've sent two options for venue, which is Magnolia Grill here in Columbia, and then uh, the Whispering Oaks, I believe. I'd have to check my notes in Hattiesburg. If there's any recommendations on another location for the September meeting, please let me know, and I'll do my best to get pricing that's within our budget. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? I do want to let this be an open discussion oh goodness, excuse me, I shared my wrong screen. um, this is just an opportunity. If anybody has any Pine Burr updates, any comments, concerns, you're more than welcome to share at this time. 1, 2, and 3.
There was a question in the chat. Miss Selena, there was a question on how you pronounce your last name.
Swartzfager. Selena Swartzfager.
Okay. Okay.
I tell people just call me Selena. Just call me Selena.
Well, I kept wondering why AJ was saying Miss Selena, and I was like, wait, I don't think she said her last. Like, what's her last name?
I do have one question
I will
for you.
say, I appreciate AJ calling me Miss Selena. I know he's doing it to be polite, but just Selena is fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Selena, when did the requirement become a requirement in Mississippi for the personal and finance classes? What school year?
It was about 5 years ago now. Okay, maybe not that many. Maybe like 2022, 3 years ago, there was a ramp up time where schools could voluntarily be pilot schools. So some of them have been doing it for, 5 years. But just if you look for, every school is required to offer the year-long course called College and Career Readiness. And inside of that course, if you look at the framework, over a semester of the content is personal finance. So we've had that evaluated by outside organizations. It's not just Selena saying, hey, we got a semester of personal finance that's required. I do know that there is some talk at the Department of Education to make some changes. I don't know what those changes will be yet, but as of now, that is where the required personal finance is occurring.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And if you're curious about what that looks like, drop me an email. I'm going to put my email in the chat. Drop me an email and I can send you the link for the Department of Education that shows you what that framework looks like. We might even have a link to it on our website that you can go check that out.
And there's not any testing on that to make sure that they're learning that personal financial requirement. That's the only downside. I know that it's required. That's is it truly being, I'm gonna.
No, I hear you. I hear you, and I understand the question. And what I will tell you is that when the requirement was put in place for this course, and nothing against the Department of Education because they are an amazing partner, but they pretty much just said this is a requirement, and literally any teacher at the high school can teach it. It can be the PE coach, it can be the music teacher, it could be the business or econ teacher. But so when I heard that, and we were part of writing the framework for this course, personally, Selena said, oh my gosh, what an awful thing it would be if we have all of these students in this year-long course and they're not learning what they're supposed to learn. What a waste of time. And so that's why we took it upon ourselves, along with Get to College, to create the Master Teacher of College and Career Readiness. so that whoever the principal assigned to teach that course could become trained in good quality content and receive the resources that they needed. Now it's voluntary, like they don't have to take the class. Ideally, they would be required, but the Department of Education, when you put a requirement like that on course, then it makes it extra difficult for the principal at the school to find somebody to teach the class. So if you go to your school that you work with and you find that whoever is teaching college and career readiness has not been through the master teacher program, I can't tell you whether they're doing a good job or not. But I can tell you, if they have been through the master teacher of college and career readiness, we have trained them at a very high level and provided them with all the resources that they need to teach that year-long class. So that's, if you want to start digging around and finding out, once again, I know who the teachers are that have been trained. If you want to know about your school, and I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble or anything like that. I'm just trying to equip you with knowledge that you could use, where you could go to your school that you serve and say, hey, I know about this master teacher program, and it would be really a good thing for you to sign up to do this. And we're about to open enrollment for that summer course. So now is a good time to be checking in on your schools, seeing if they've already been through the program, encouraging them to go to our website and sign up. And the course will be pretty much in the month of June. We do provide completion incentives for teachers. Their principal does have to certify that they're either already teaching the course or that they plan to assign them to teach the course in the next school year. But yeah, now's the time to be checking this out. I don't have enough feet on the ground to go out to these schools that haven't already participated. So that's
say,
a
hey,
really
participate.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all you have to do is say, hey, I know about this great opportunity that would make your life easier. Because we give them the whole student course. Like they don't have to recreate. They can change things if they want, but why would you do that? I mean, if somebody has already provided you with high level content, that you can use to teach this class.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Selena, thank you for your time today. Everybody, thank you for your time as well. This is going to be the end of our meeting. If there's any questions, concerns, feel free to email Selena or myself directly. We'll get that information over to you. Everybody have a great Friday and a great weekend. Thank you, guys.
Happy Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.